reigning, most loving, mere folly, then hey, ho, the holly. This life is most jolly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. Our last round for the month of May. We're here to perform impromptu performances of the works of Shakespeare chosen at random by the Wheel of Shakespeare. Let's bring that up. Our first monologue performance today is going to be by Maggie, and then Sheila will go after her. Sheila is on deck, Maggie's up, and she will do the wheel into the screen. Okay. Okay. So Maggie, to add her to screen, you will be doing spinning the wheel. To Henry V. I know thee not, all man. So it's actually Prince Hal has just become Henry V. So it's actually in Henry IV part 2
Okay.
is the I know thee not, old man.
255. Okay, can you stay on with me till I actually get it in case I kind of mess up? All right, Henry IV, part 2, Act 5, Scene 5. Got to open the text, Act 5. So let me find him. Okay, I have it. Thank you.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. How ill white hairs become a fool and jester. I have long dreamed of such a kind of man, so surfeit swelled, so old and so profane. But being waked, I do despise my dream. Make less thy body hence, and more thy grace. Leave gourmandizing. Know the grave doth gape for thee thrice wider than for other men. Reply not to me with a fool-born jest. Presume not that I am the thing I was. For God doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away my former self. So will I those that kept me company. When thou dost hear I am as I have been, approach me, and thou shalt be as thou wast, the tutor and the feeder of my riots. Till then, I banish thee on pain of death, as I have done the rest of my misleaders, not to come near our person by 10 mile. For competence of life I will allow you, the lack of means enforce you not to evil, and as we hear you do reform yourselves, we will, according to your strengths and qualities, give you advancement. Be it your charge, my lord, to set performed the tenor of our word. Set on. Thank you.
Okay, very nice, Maggie. So Sheila is up now, and John is on deck. Sheila is going to do Benvolio, Pivot Here Slain, Act 3, Scene 1, Romeo and Juliet. So whenever you're ready.
fair slain, whom Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the quarrel was, and urged with all your high displeasure. All this uttered with gentle breath, calm look, knees humbly bowed, could not take truce with the unruly spleen of Tybalt, deaf to peace, but that he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot, turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn with one hand beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, friends part, and swifter than his tongue his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. And then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and they go like lightning, for ere I could draw to part them was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
Okay, thank you, Sheila. So John is now up, and I am on deck. I will go after John does. Pastoral, the elves of hills. Act 5, Scene 1. The elves of hills. Tempest Night. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Code reading. Oh God, it's long. Okay. And mine shall, hast thou which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind that relish all as sharply, passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Start again. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back. You demi puppets that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites. And you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedeemed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault, set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder, here I have given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, opt, and let 'em forth be my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine and upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. A solemn air and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spelled stopped, holy Gonzalo, honorable man, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clever reason. O good Gonzalo, my true preserver, and a loyal sir, to him you followest, I will pay thy graces both in and word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched forth now, Sebastian, flesh and blood, you, brother mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me, Ariel. Fetch me the hat and rapier in my cell. I will disease me, and myself present as I was sometimes Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free. Where the bee sucks, there suck I, in a cowslip's bell I lie. There I couch when owls do cry, on bat's back I do fly after summer merrily. Merrily, merrily shall I live now, under the blossom that hangs on the bough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Okay, so it's my turn now, and then Bill, you're on deck. You will go after I do. Oh, I love this one. Easy like the bed before. Go call the Earls of Surrey and of Warwick, but ere they come, bid them or read these letters, and well consider of them. Make good speed. How many thousand of my poorest subjects are at this hour asleep? Sleep. Oh, gentle sleep, nature's soft nurse, how have I frighted thee, that thou no more wilt weigh my eyelids down and steep my senses in forgetfulness. Why rather sleep liest thou with smoky cribs upon an easy pallet stretching thee, and hushed with buzzy nights flies to thy slumber, than in all the perfumed chambers of the great, under the canopies of costly state, and lulled with sound of sweetest melody? O thou dull god, why liest thou with that vile and loathsome beds, and leavest the kingly couch, a watch case, or a common larum bell? Wilt thou upon the high and giddy mast seal up the shipboy's eyes, and rock his brains in cradle of the rude imperious surge? And in the visitation of the winds, who take the ruffian billows by the top, curling their monstrous heads and hanging them, for that hurly death itself awakes. canst thou, O partial sleep, give thy repose to the wet sea boy in an hour so rude, and in the calmest and most stillest night, with all appliances and means to boot, deny it to a king? Happy low lie down. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Okay. So, Bill, you're up now. Okay, so Bill is going to go, then Henry will do our last monologue before we spin for scene. But first, Bill is going to do. Hamlet invites the players.
Act 3, Scene 2.
Yeah, I believe it starts the scene.
Right at the beginning, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Speak this speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. What if you mouth it, as many of your players do? I'd had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently, for in the torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious periwig painted fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have had such a fellow whipped for o'erdoing termagant. Get out, Herod's Herod, pray you avoid it. Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action. With this special, or step not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come part tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve. The censure of the which you must in your allowance or away a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak profanely, that indeed having the accent of Christians, neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. Oh, reform it altogether. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and it shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Okay, so our last monologue before we spin for scenes will be Henry's. Henry, he's going to do. Juliet, shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Act 3, Scene 2.
Oh, is it, okay. Sorry, just catching up on, shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, poor my lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours' wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring, your tributary drops belong to woe, which you mistaking offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Whereof weep I then? Some word there was worser than Tybalt's death that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilt deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished is that one word banished hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with other griefs, why followed not when she said, Tybalt's dead, thy father or thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved? But with a rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure bound in that word's death. No words can that woe sound. Where is my father and my mother on earth? End of scene.
Okay, thank you. So, let's see what scenes we have for the 6 of us. Okay, spinning for scenes. Again, we'll choose the same. Now we're going the same order that we performed. So Maggie will get the first choice of those. Okay, Much Ado About Nothing. Act 5, Scene 2. It's Benedict, Beatrice, and then Margaret / Ursula. We're going to combine into it, like I think one of the serving women comes in at the beginning, and then the other comes at the end, and that's a small one. So I'll fill that one with somebody else. It won't count as their turn. So Benedict and Beatrice are the 2 in that scene. Merchant of Venice, Portia, and after Scene 2. Portia and Bassanio. And then don't know how that got in. Henry VI, Part 1, Act 5, Scene 3, Margaret and the Duke of Suffolk. I believe this is the scene where he first kid captures her and says he's going to marry her to the king, but keep her as his mistress. So Margaret and Suffolk. Okay, so the 6 roles to choose from: Benedict, Beatrice, Portia, Bassanio, Margaret, or Suffolk. So Maggie gets the first choice of those. What would you like, Maggie?
If you think that's the right one for Henry VI, I think I'll take Margaret.
Okay.
Okay, so 5. So it's Henry VI, Act 5, Scene 3.
Henry VI, Part 1, Act
Part
5,
1.
Scene 3.
Okay.
Okay. Sheila, what would you like?
I'll do Beatrice.
Beatrice. John, what would you like?
Oh, I guess Benedict. What is the acting scene on that one, please? On the
Act 5, Scene 3.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, my turn. I'll take the Duke of Suffolk in the last scene. Myself and Maggie will do that one. So there's Portia and Bassanio left. Bill, you take Bassanio.
Bassanio, yeah.
Okay, so that leaves Henry to be Portia. Okay, so our first scene, we have the Much Ado About Nothing scene. We have Sheila is going to be Beatrice and Benedict. John and Sheila are going to be Beatrice and Benedict. Maggie, could I ask that you be the one that does the small parts, the Ursula and?
Oh, in this one, let me find that then. I'm glad to. I just didn't open it. So we're talking Much Ado.
Much Ado About Nothing, Act 5, Scene 3. It's going to start. John, you're being. I think.
Are you sure it's Act 5, Scene 3? Because I have a different
2.
scene.
Act 5, Scene 2. And if Maggie's going to do Margaret, then we can do the whole scene. If she does Margaret and Ursula.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because it starts with one serving woman is on, and then the other serving. There's no sense in having a second. They're never. But it can be the same servant. Says both of them. So Benedict. So it'll start with. I'll keep John and Maggie and. Great. And then I'll add Sheila. I'll add you when Beatrice comes in later. So whenever you guys are ready.
Okay.
Maggie, did we lose you? I think we lost Maggie. Yeah. I'll do the filler lines.
Okay, then. Are we ready?
Yeah, you can start. I'll do Margaret.
Okay. Or unless you want to wait a minute.
Oh,
like for this.
Maggie, are you back?
I am, yes. Act 5, Scene 3. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I should have said Act 5, Scene 2. That was a mistake. It's
I'm
Act
sorry?
5, Scene 2. It's 5, Scene 2.
Scene
I was
2?
wrong about that. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Act 5. Well, now I have to scroll. Act 5, Scene 2. Okay. So I'm Margaret and Ursula. All right, got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for waiting.
Okay. So whenever you're ready.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then rise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it, for in most comely truth thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me? Why, shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth. It catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman, and so I pray thee, call Beatrice. I give thee thy bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think hath legs.
And therefore will come the God of love that sits above, and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving, Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of panders, and a whole bookful of these quondam carpet mangers, whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love, Mary. I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn, a hard rhyme. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme, very ominous in endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, nor I cannot woo in festival terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I call thee?
Yea, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul word is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome, therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast sprited the word out of his right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart. If you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the lime of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question, Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in room? Therefore it is most expedient for the wise, if Don worm his conscience, find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, who I will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin,
Very ill,
and how do you?
very ill too.
Serve God, love me, and mend. There will I leave you too, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home, it proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused. The prince and Claudia mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear the news, senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go with thee to thy uncle.
Okay, great. So now we have Portia and Bassanio. That's Act 3, Scene 2. That'll be Henry and Bill. I was busy. You both know where to start this one? You're good?
I don't know where to start.
Okay. I misspelled Bassanio.
Are we starting? We're starting at the top of the scene, and then
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you guys are ready.
How far are we going?
I think until Narissa comes in. Would it be? Or
Okay.
do you think? Or was that a bit long?
Okay. Well, whatever.
I pray you tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong I lose your company. Therefore, forbear a while. Though something tells me, but it is not love, I would not lose you. And I know yourself. I've got a kind of echo going on. Is that coming from me? Can anyone hear?
I hear you.
Yeah, I sort of hear what you're talking about. I don't know where it's coming from, though.
Is that any better? Oh, I think it is. Okay. I pray you tarry. Pause a day or two before you hazard, for in choosing wrong I lose your company. Therefore forbear a while. Something tells me, but it is not love. I would not lose you. And you know yourself, hate counsels not in such a quantity. But lest you should not understand me well, and yet a maiden hath no tongue but thought, I would detain you here some month or two before you venture for me. I could teach you how to choose right, but I am then forsworn, so I will never be. So may you miss me. But if you do, you'll make me wish a sin that I had been forsworn. Beshrew your eyes, they have all looked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours, mine own, I would say. But if mine, then yours, and so all yours. Oh, these naughty times put bars between the owners and their rights, and so, though yours, not yours. Prove it so. Let fortune go to hell for it, not I. I speak too long, but 'tis to pays the time, to eke it and to draw it out in length, to stay you from election.
Let me choose, for as I am, I live upon the rack.
Upon the rack, Bassanio. Then confess what treason there is mingled with your love.
None but that ugly treason of mistrust, which makes me fear the enjoying of my love. There may as well be amity and life between snow and fire. as treason in my love.
Aye, but I fear you speak upon the rack, where men enforced to speak anything.
Promise me life, and I'll confess the truth.
Well then, confess and live.
Confess and love had been the very sum of my confession. Oh, happy torment, when my torturer doth teach me answers for deliverance. But let me to my fortune and the caskets.
Away then. I am locked in one of them. If you do love me, you will find me out. Nerissa and the rest stand all aloof. Let music sound while he doth make his choice. Then, if he lose, he makes a swan-like end, fading in music. That the comparison may stand more proper, my eyes shall be the stream and watery deathbed for him. He may win, and what is music then? Then music is even as a flourish when true subjects bow to a new crowned monarch. Such it is as are those dulcet sounds in break of day that creep into the dreaming bridegroom's ear and summon him to marriage. Now he goes with no less presence, but with much more love than young Alcides when he did redeem the virgin tribute paid by howling Troy to the sea monster. I stand for sacrifice. The rest aloof are, the Dardanian wives, with bleared visage, come forth to view the issue of the exploit. Go, Hercules, live thou, I live. With much, much more dismay I view the fight than thou that makes the fray. Tell me, where is fancy bred, or in the heart, or in the head? How we got, how nourished, reply, reply. It is engendered in the eyes with gazing fed, and fancy dies. In the cradle where it lies, let us all ring fancy's knell. Now begin it, ding dong bell.
Ding dong bell. So make the outward shows be least themselves. The world is still deceived with ornament. In law, what plea so tainted and corrupt, but being seasoned with a gracious voice, obscures the show of evil? In religion, what damned error, but some sober brow will bless it and approve it with a text, hiding the grossness with fair ornament? There is no vice so simple, but assumes some mark of virtue in his own outward parts. How many cowards whose hearts are all as false as stairs of sand, wear yet upon their chins the beards of Hercules and frowning Mars, who, inward searched, have livers white as milk, and these assume but valor's excrement to render them redoubted. Look on beauty, and you shall see 'tis purchased by the weight, which therein works a miracle in nature, making them lightest that wear most of all. So are those crisp, snaky, golden locks which make such wanton gambols with the wind upon supposed fairness, often known to be the dowry of a second head, the skull that bred them in the sepulchre. Thus ornament is but the gild shore to a most dangerous sea. The beauteous scarf veiling an Indian beauty. In a word, the seeming truth which cunning times put on to enwrap the wisest. Therefore, thou gaudy gold, hard food for Midas, I will none of thee, nor none of thee, thou pale and common drudge between man and man, but thou, meager lead, which rather threatenest than dost promise aught. Thy paleness moves me more than eloquence, and here choose I, joy be the consequence.
How all other passions fleet to air as doubtful thoughts and rash embraced despair and shuddering fear and green-eyed jealousy. Oh, love, be moderate. Allay thy ecstasy, in measure reign thy joy. Scant this excess, I feel too much thy blessing. Make it less, for fear I serve it.
Oh, what find I here? Fair Portia's counterfeit. What demigod hath come so near creation? move these eyes, or whether riding on the balls of mine they seem in motion. Here are severed lips, parted with sugar breath. So sweet a bar should sunder such sweet friends. Here in her hairs the painter plays the spider, and hath woven the golden mesh to entrap the hearts of men, faster than gnats and cobwebs. But in her eyes, how could she see to do them? Having made one, methinks I should have power to steal both his and leave itself unfurnished. Yet look, how far the substance of my praise doth wrong this shadow in underprizing it. So far this shadow doth limp behind the substance. Here's the scroll, the continent and summary of my fortune. You that choose not by the view, chance as fair and choose as true. Since your fortune falls to you, be content and seek no new. If you be well pleased with this, and hold your fortune for your bliss, turn you where your lady is, and claim her with a loving kiss. A gentle scroll, fair lady, by your leave, I come by note to give and to receive, like one of two contending in a prize, that thinks he hath done well in people's eyes. Hearing applause and universal shout, giddy in spirit, still gazing in a doubt whether these pearls of praise be his or no. So, thrice fair lady, stand I even so, as doubtful whether I see be true, until confirmed, signed, and ratified by you.
You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Though for myself alone I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better, yet for you I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, that only to stand high in your account I might in virtue, beauty's livings, friends exceed account. But the full sum of me is sum of something which to term in gross is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. Happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not so bred, so dull, that she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen o'er myself, and even now, but now this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you.
Madam, you have bereft me of all words. Only my blood speaks to you in my veins, and there is such confusion in my powers as after some oration fairly spoke as by a beloved prince, there doth appear among the buzzing pleased multitude, where every something being blent together turns to a wild of nothing, save of joy, expressed and not expressed. But when this ring parts from this finger, then parts life from hence. Oh, then be bold to say Bassanio's dead.
Anything?
Okay, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
Bill. That was fun.
And now we've got myself and Maggie doing Duke of Suffolk and Queen, or not Queen, soon to be Queen Margaret. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I have it.
Okay. Be what thou wilt, thou art my prisoner. Oh, fairest beauty, do not fear nor fly, for I will touch thee but with reverent hands. I kiss these fingers for eternal peace, and lay them gently on thy tender side. Who art thou? Say that I may honor thee.
Margaret my name, and daughter to a king, the king of Naples, whosoe'er thou art.
An earl I am, and Suffolk am I called. Be not offended, nature's miracle. Thou art allotted to be ta'en by me. So doth the swan her dowry signet save, keeping them prisoner underneath her wings. Yet if this servile usage once offend, go and be free again as Suffolk's friend. Oh, stay! I have no power to let her pass. My hand would free her, but my heart says no. As plays the sun upon the glassy stream, was twinkling another counterfeited beam. So seems this gorgeous beauty to mine eyes. Fain would I woo her, yet I dare not speak. I'll call for pen and ink and write my mind. Hi, Philippole, disable not thyself. Hast not a tongue? Is she not here? Thou be daunted at a woman's sight? Aye, beauty's princely majesty is such, confounds the tongue and makes the senses rough.
Say, Earl of Suffolk, if thy name be so, what ransom must I pay before I pass? For I perceive I am thy prisoner.
How canst thou tell she will deny thy suit before thou make a trial of her love?
Why speakest thou not? What ransom must I pay?
She is beautiful, and therefore to be wooed. She is a woman, therefore to be won.
Wilt thou accept of ransom, yea or no?
Fond man, remember that thou hast a wife. And how can Margaret be thy paramour?
I were best to leave him, for he will not hear.
There all is marred. There lies a cooling card.
He talks at random, sure. The man is mad.
A dispensation may be had.
And yet I would you would answer me.
I'll win this Lady Margaret. For whom? Why, for my king. Hush, that's a wooden thing.
He talks of wood. It is some carpenter.
Yet so my fancy may be satisfied and peace established between these realms, but there remains a scruple in that too. For though her father be the King of Naples, Duke of Anjou and Maine, yet is he poor, and our nobility will scorn the match.
Hear ye, Captain, are you not at leisure?
It shall be so. Disdain they ne'er so much. Henry is youthful and will quickly yield. Madam, I have a secret to reveal.
What though I be enthralled? He seems a knight, and will not any way dishonor me.
Lady, vouchsafe to listen what I say.
Perhaps I shall be rescued by the French, and then I need not crave his courtesy.
Sweet madam, give me a hearing in a cause.
Tush, women have been captive ere now.
Lady, wherefore talk you so?
I cry you mercy. 'Tis but quid for quo.
Say, gentle princess, would you not suppose your bondage happy to be made a queen?
To be a queen in bondage is more vile than is a slave in base servility, for princes should be free.
And so shall you, if happy England's royal king be free.
Why, what concerns his freedom unto me?
I'll undertake to make thee Henry's queen. Put a golden scepter in thy hand, and set a precious crown upon thy head, if thou wilt condescend to be my...
What?
his love.
I am unworthy to be Henry's wife.
No, gentle madam, I unworthy am to woo a fair dame to be his wife, and have no portion in the choice myself. How say you, madam, are ye so content?
And if my father please, I am content.
Then call our captains and our colours forth, and madam, at your father's castle walls we'll crave a parley to confer with him. Okay, thank you everybody for your performances today. It's always fun to meet up with you every week and perform, and people watching on YouTube, but we hope you enjoyed our performances, and we look forward to seeing you same time next week for the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge and every Saturday. Bye. Bye now.